Welcome back aboard Blurred Force One with your boys Mo and Lottie, and this is the Supercast. The Supercast, where we talk about all things superhero on our pop culture media. That's movies, TV shows, video games. We talk about the news, do some speculation, all that good nerdy stuff. And before we get into the podcast today, do us a favor, get down there, hit like on this video, or if you're listening to us on a podcasting platform, leave us a review. 5 stars would be best, but whatever you think, we deserve. And man, we are in the X-Men 97 era. I keep saying that, but it's so true. But also, Wolverine and Deadpool making some waves this week. We're going to talk about that later. But before we do that, Lottie, my friend, how you doing today? And what you been up to that's nerdy?
Well, really just been watching. Just started watching the Knuckles series, and playing Helldivers. But besides that, really, status quo.
Heard that, yeah. I also watched the first episode of Knuckles. It's a cute little show. I feel like I'm going to like the rest of it. It's definitely feels like not a substantial story, but like something that'll be fun to get through. Also working my way through Fallout very slowly. That's a tough show to watch, even though it's great, but it is what's the word? It's a little stressful sometimes. So I'm definitely trying to get through that. And also Star Trek Discovery, slowly making my way through that. So we got some nerd stuff going on. Kind of trying to slow down my collecting of figures and stuff. So I think it's going to be a while before I make some more purchases because I've got to stop. So all that's going on in nerdy stuff. But this is the Supercast. We are going to talk about superhero related items and news. And we got some good stuff this week, Lottie. Like Tom Holland talks about Spider-Man 4 and how things are a little bit different for him this time around. Kraven the Hunter gets a new release date. There's some rumors for the MCU about Thanos and about Blade. Bo DeMayo has some recommendations for how you can prepare for the 3-part finale of X-Men 97. James Gunn talks about X-Men 97 and also about Justice League Unlimited. We're going to do a bit of a nerd discussion, kind of celebrating the 5th anniversary of Avengers Endgame. And then we are going to review the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer. So lots of stuff to get through. Lottie, you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's get into it. So Lottie, I thought this was interesting. We're all looking forward to Spider-Man 4. The Tom Holland trilogy of Spider-Man movies and the MCU is, I mean, let's call it what it is. One of the most, if possibly the most successful trilogy in the MCU. I think out of all of the trilogies we've seen in the MCU, it definitely has made the most money. People love Spider-Man. People love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. So Spider-Man 4 is really kind of a no-brainer. And we were even talking about last week who could potentially, direct that movie. Well, in the meantime, they've been working hard on the story and everything. And Tom Holland is very excited about it. And in particular, because he's going to get to do something that he hadn't been able to on the previous 3. And that's be a part of the creative process. Kind of like how Ryan Reynolds is one of the creative drivers on the Deadpool, movies. He's going to get involved in the creative process, the story process. So he says, this is the first time in the process I've been part of creative so early. It's just a process where I'm watching and learning. And it's a really fun stage for me. Like I said, everyone wants it to happen, but we want to make sure we're not overdoing the same things. So, Lottie, I think it's interesting that Tom Holland, I mean, I want to say he's like 26 or going on 27 now. But he gets to be a part of the story, like making the story, being part of that process. They're asking his input and everything. What do you think about this evolution of Tom Holland as not just an actor, but a creative? And does his involvement, does that up your interest in or excitement for the next Spider-Man?
I mean, that just shows, what it shows is that his acting and his opinion is taken a lot more seriously in Hollywood, because once you start getting to a certain point in Hollywood where you become like a more you begin to evolve from B or A list to an S tier actor, people begin to take your opinion a lot more seriously. So that's cool. When it comes to my excitement for the movie, I mean, I can't really say that I'm excited. It doesn't really increase it too much because we really don't know much about it. We just know that there's a fourth Spider-Man movie that is under works, because I'll have to see what's the whole concept of the movie, because as of now, from how No Way Home ended it could just all I know is that it could just be like sort of like a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man movie. So I have to see what else is involved before I can even say that I can get excited.
Right. No, I feel you on that. I am glad that he is kind of making this move as a career, kind of career move, and that Marvel trusts his knowledge and interest in the character enough to make him part of that whole process. I think honestly, when it comes to these franchises, that kind of ought to be a part of being a lead character in any of these movies, just because you're going to be playing that character for so long. I mean, at least for any particular lead character in a movie, you're talking about at least 3 movies, so 6 to 7 years commitment. You ought to be somewhat involved, and obviously, the more mature an actor you are, the more important that your input be considered is part of it. So good for him. I'm happy for him, and I really hope that he makes some meaningful input to the character and to the movie. And my excitement honestly is no different, because I can't wait to see the next Spider-Man. That's just true. So good for him, and we'll see what, if anything, comes out of that, and we'll let you guys know all about it. A bit of quick news here. Lottie, Kraven the Hunter is, he's taking his bow, or I guess his bow and arrow, whatever the hell he uses. What the fuck does Kraven use to hunt? Everything? I don't know. Either way, he's taking his hunting apparatus and moving to December, I think it's December 13th. Taking the spot that was previously held by the Karate Kid movie that was supposed to be coming out. Lottie, I wonder about this. Is this just a shuffling of the deck because Sony had, some, maybe needed some space for other things, or they weren't ready with the Karate Kid movie and they need to put another Sony thing in its place? Is this an indication that Kraven the Hunter needs more time to, before it can come out? Because I think this is a three-month move. I want to say Kraven was supposed to come out in either August or September, something like that. Is this an indication that Kraven needs a lot more work? What do you think that this move means?
They're just delaying the inevitable, unfortunately. It's another one of those Spider-Man movies, Spider-Man first movies that no one's going to care about, and it's probably going to bomb in the box office. I would love to be wrong. I would absolutely love to be wrong, but I just get the feeling that that's what it is. Probably, I honestly don't know. Because it says Sony has pushed the reboot of Karate Kid from December 13th this year to May of 23. So probably was the fill the gap for Karate Kid. Mm-hmm. They're like, well, let's move this movie that probably no one's gonna watch in August to at least maybe some people in December will be like, hey, it's a superhero movie. It's Christmas.
It's R-rated. Can't wait to take the kids to this.
well, yeah, I forgot it is R-rated. So, even worse. Yeah, maybe they could censor it up to make it PG-13 so kids can watch out.
Maybe they can make it good. That would be good too, I think.
That's too late.
No, but here's the fun thing. It's moved from August 30th to December 13th. So you're talking about September, October. You're talking about 3 months and some change difference. 3 months is a lot of time for editing and CG and reshoots. Like, I'm not kidding. A movie could change drastically with reshoots and editing. So maybe it'll be good. Let's be honest, it's probably not going to be good. Maybe it can go from dumpster fire to just bad. You know, maybe it can go from dumpster fire to just bad. It can't do worse than Madam Web, right? Right? We'll see. We'll see if they can aim for that particular achievement. So I guess we'll keep an eye out. Hopefully we'll get some more news and we'll let you guys know what we think about it then. Let's talk some rumors, MCU rumors. We don't ever seem to get DC rumors. I don't know why, but we get all these MCU rumors. So here's the first one. It is this. Josh Brolin will reprise his role as a variant of Thanos in Avengers Secret Wars. That variant is King Thanos, and Thanos will also return in several animation projects before Avengers Secret Wars. So this is a two-part rumor. Lottie, as always with rumors, you know what I have to ask. Facts or cap? Josh Brolin will reprise his role as a Thanos variant in Secret Wars.
Very unfortunately, this is facts. Very unfortunate. And I hate this. I don't hate it for the animations, but him coming back in the MCU. I'm sorry. Move on, guys. It's I'm really disappointed in this news. I do not want to see Thanos show up in a movie because he is a variant of Thanos. So either it's one of the three things. One, he becomes a hero, which I don't want to see Thanos. I don't really want to see Thanos in live action be a hero. Two, he is cannon fodder to show how badass the villain is, which is just I hate when anime or TV shows do that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to shit on a beloved villain to make another villain look more powerful. Or two, he's a actual part of the movie. Like, he actually is a hurdle in the movie. All three I do not want at all, but I can literally see Marvel doing this, the MCU doing this, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, King Thanos is apparently, as you can imagine, a variant based in the comics. This is a Thanos more in line with the comics, where he's in love with death, like the embodiment of death, and wants to marry her and all this other stuff. So it appears maybe that it's a more recent creation, but it's related to Secret Wars. Secret Wars, the comics, where there's an amalgamation world where there's all sorts of characters from different universes, and they all are sort of coexisting on this amalgamated world. So I cannot, do anything except agree with you, Lottie, that probably this is true. Because that his character models is done. It's they can easily just get Josh Brolin in there and do some mocap. And also Secret Wars is there. I hate to say it, it's going to be sort of a cameo fest in the way that What If also is a cameo fest, but maybe a little more cheaper cameo fest, if that makes sense. Like, What If is telling stories with these alternates, and this is going to be like, hey, there's that guy. I hate to say that, but it feels like that's going to be true. So we'll see about that. As far as Thanos being in animation projects, I also feel like that's facts. Mainly because we've already seen it. It's been in What If, right? In What If Season 1, we saw 2 or 3 different versions of Thanos already. So why wouldn't this also be true? The question is, would they be a significant presence in those animation projects? I don't know. Lottie, you think so?
Thanos being, like I said, Thanos being in the animation projects, I like that because the thing about it is, with animation, there's so many different things I don't care about. Like, for example, we all know X-Men 97 is not the MCU X-Men. They're in a completely different universe. We understand all these different it's because animation, because it's the closest thing to the comic books. So we know that there's different universe. All these shows could be separate. So I have no problem. I actually want Thanos to be more involved in the animations. I want to see him show up. But like when it comes to live action, when you have a villain that is a villain, I'm not saying every villain needs to die off. But when you have a villain like Thanos and the way he just died off and we passed on, just to see him roll out of a portal and just be like, "Oh, I know everything about you guys again." It just feels cheap. Almost like they're trying to regain the magic of Endgame, which we're going to talk about later in the show. And I just feel like it's already disappointing me. When you just said it's going to be a cameo fest, it literally, like, the cheesiest stuff started happening where it just felt it felt like, it feels almost like Secret Wars might end up being like the Ready Player One movie, but unlike the Ready Player One movie, that was actually cool to see all those things. It will look kind of cheesy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It seems like, I feel like they're going to do what Deadpool and Wolverine's going to do, but like times 10. So it won't be cute at that point because that's supposed to be a serious movie. So yes. I don't know. We will see. Another rumor. This is a one I wanted to dig in a little deeper, or not. Well, maybe not deep. I'm probably just gonna go off about it. Supposedly, Wesley Snipes is going to reprise his role as Blade in the multiverse saga, MCU's multiverse saga. So, in other words, wherever there's some multiverse shit going on, like probably Secret Wars, maybe Kang Dynasty or whatever they are calling Kang Dynasty nowadays, we're going to see an alternate version of Blade, and it will be Wesley Snipes. Lottie, before I go off, facts or cap on that?
Just like you said the last time, it's facts. And this is my problem. Here's my problem with this. Where is the live action Blade movie before all of this?
Yeah.
Disney, stop! That's all I have to say.
Basically, that's what my going off is going to be. What the fuck? Like, here's my thing. I'm not even against Wesley Snipes as Blade. I love those movies, except for the third one, which was garbage. I think he's great. I think Wesley Snipes in action roles, always a good thing. But Mahershala Ali has not even put on the fucking trench coat one time. And y'all sitting up here pulling this dude in to undermine your Blade. That's what we're going to do here. Because that's what's going to happen. Undermine the actual Blade that's going to be in the MCU. So that's your plan. Bring in old ass Wesley Snipes for a cameo. Like, if it's a 5 second, if it's a one scene cameo in Avengers 5, okay, maybe, right? Okay, cool. He and Deadpool cross blades, and that'll be okay, fine, cool. I can deal with that. But if it's more than that, if it's showing up in many things, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Why would you do that? So I'm only going to say facts for this reason, because Marvel seems like they're leaning into the cameo fest aspect of the multiverse saga. For better or for worse, they're doing it. I just think this is a fucking stupid idea, because Mahershala Ali is not even there for comparison, right? Remember when we had No Way Home, you had 3 different Spider-Man, right? One of them had already been in the MCU quite a bit, so we had 3 to sort of have side by side. If you do this, you're kind of undercutting Mahershala Ali's Blade. That's all I'm saying. Like, don't. How about don't?
They're 100% doing it, because this honestly might come out before Blade comes out. Because I still don't believe it. I still don't believe that movie's coming out at this point. I still don't believe it.
I mean, Blade could come out, on time, but who knows? So I don't know. We're gonna keep an eye on this, and we shall let you know if any news about this comes out. So we were talking about X-Men 97 earlier. We are in the X-Men 97 era. Can you believe it's only 3 more episodes before the end of the first season? It feels like we've been on this a while, but also it feels too soon. That said, X-Men 97 is blowing up. Everyone's all into it. At least in the small part of the internet we occupy. People are really into it. And so Bo DeMayo. I keep saying DeMayo. I think it's DeMayo. And so I think I need to stop. Bo DeMayo, let me say it right, has been on Twitter, X, whatever, kind of talking about it, about the show. And he's recommended some homework. Lottie, you got your pencil so you can write down your homework assignment for the final 3 episodes. These are episodes you should watch to inform you about the direction that the final 3 episodes are. So here they are.
Just gave me flashbacks.
Season 1, episode 13, The Final Decision. Season 4, episodes 1 and 2, One Man's Worth, part 1 and 2. Season 4, episodes 6 and 7, Sanctuary, part 1 and 2. And season 5, episode 12, Descent. Now, Sanctuary, I'm pretty sure, is about when they are up on Asteroid M. I do not, episode 13 of, I wish I remember what Final Decision was. And episodes 1 and 2 of One Man's Worth, I don't remember those. So Descent, I'm almost certain, is about Asteroid M being destroyed. So this is, of course, the final 3 episodes are about Bastion and his whole crusade, if you will, to kill all mutants on Earth. Lottie, are you ready to do some homework, man? And also, what is this? What the hell is this do some homework shit for this TV show? Is it that serious?
Is it that? I mean, the show's great. Saying homework hurt me. It gave me pain. Literally hurt me deep inside of my soul. But I will do my best to do homework.
You gotta do the required reading, man. That's there will be a quiz on this when you watch the episode. So so what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 episodes. Yeah. So you got a few hours worth of things to watch before Wednesday. In a way, I'm like, man, do I have to, like, for real? But this really is more about, hey, if you want a deeper understanding of what's going on, and the threads that connect back to the original series, this is kind of where you go and take a look and see what DeMaio was talking about or what they were getting at. So I probably will do this. I'm probably going to do it just because. But it'll be interesting. I want to know, are you guys going to go check this out? You're going to go do your homework before the quiz on Wednesday. So we will be back here, of course, for X-Men 97 episode 8, and we'll let you know what we think about it. Speaking of X-Men 97, the Distinguished Competition had something to say about it, and this is in relation to a question from a fan asking James Gunn. James Gunn, for whatever reason, he just didn't have shit to do. He was just on Threads. He was asked if, since X-Men 97 is such a big hit, how about a Justice League Unlimited '07? A sequel series following up immediately after the final season of the last season of Justice League. To which to which James Gunn says, X-Men 97 is fun because it's unique and not desperately trying to follow the trends of everything around it. So I'd rather just keep doing that. Which I read as, no. Just no, we're not doing that. Lottie, 2 things. 1, James Gunn says X-Men is good. He says it's fun, but he praises X-Men, but also says, forget about it. We're not doing JLU, season whatever. How you feel about that?
So I have just a little to say about the beginning, but a lot to say about the end. First, James Gunn has taste. We all know that. The man made the what's it called? The House of Pain. That's why I always will tell everybody. Every time they know what I'm talking about. But anybody who says that Justice League Unlimited needs a sequel series didn't watch the show. You know why I says that? No, I say that because what is there to do? You know how Justice League Unlimited ends?
I did not watch the show, so I don't.
Justice League Unlimited ends with Darkseid literally turning into dust because he touched the anti-life equation and it turned him into dust. And there was a good future where what's his name is a grown man. What's the dude's name? Terry McGinnis is a grown man and finds out that he's the clone son of Batman. So you're literally asking if you're asking for a sequel to Justice League Unlimited, you're literally asking for Batman Beyond. That is the ending. The ending of Justice League Unlimited is Batman Beyond. So that's why I say if anybody's asking for a Justice League Unlimited sequel, you didn't watch the show. You literally did not watch the show. Because you're literally asking them to rewrite the show. You're retconning the ending because the future was amazing afterwards. There's no bad. It's not like X-Men where it was like not finished and still Cable with the bad future and all that. No, it showed the future, and it is actually better. The future of Justice League Unlimited is actually better than the Batman Unlimited. I mean, Batman Beyond that we saw in the late 90s, early 2000s. It's actually a better future than that one. So it turned out even better. So you're just asking them to make the place shitty. No. Leave Justice League Unlimited alone. It's fine. If you want to do another thing, just make a new Justice League show. Just make something new. Like there's certain shows I understand, like, for example, why they want to continue, like, for example, some people say, then why do you want a Spider-Man 90s thing? If you ask me that question, you never watched the damn show because it didn't end. It literally just goes like, hey, Spider-Man, you want me to take you where Mary Jane is? Oh, yeah, cool. Next week, first episode. That's what happened. That's literally how Spider-Man, the 90s series ended. It literally ended on the most absolute egregious cliffhanger of all time.
Yeah.
So that's why it makes sense for them to make a sequel series of shows that didn't finish. Unlimited had an ending. Leave it alone.
Well, there you go. It's definitive. No, also it's definitely not happening because James Gunn's like, we're not doing that. We could. Good. We're not doing that. So I will be interested though to see what DC Studios animation does going forward, especially since they kind of basically said they're not doing any more of those original animated movies. Like they're finishing the last ones up and that's that. And of course they got Creature Commandos coming. I'll be very interested to see what they have in store. It would be nice if they, got into it the way that Marvel Studios animation is going right now. But, in a way, I sort of don't like the trend of trying to sequel series everything. Not because I don't necessarily want that, but to be honest, if X-Men 97 never came out, I wouldn't have missed it. Now that I know it, I'm glad it exists. But if they never did it, it wouldn't have changed my life at all. So I kind of look at it as, if someone has a great idea, not an idea, hey, we got some IP, we need to do something with an idea. Not that, but a great idea that they're passionate about, that they have a great story, just kind of a great pitch for. Yeah, hell yeah, do that. But I have a feeling there ain't really many of those about Justice League Unlimited. Like, because Bo DeMaio will talk your ear off about how X-Men, impacted his life. And, he even literally said that he used a lot of his ideas for a spec script he did. It wasn't even a spec. He just wrote a script for a sequel to X2, the movie, right? That he called basically fan fiction. And he used a lot of ideas. This guy's got huge passion and a great pitch and idea for the sequel series. I don't feel like that's true about Justice League Unlimited. It just, I haven't heard anybody talking about it or anything to that. All this is fans who love the original show being like, but I want one too. and that's cool and all, but we can't just be throwing shit at the wall like that. We've got enough of that from Sony, right? IP farming. We got enough of that from Sony. We don't need more of that.
That was mean.
It's what they're doing. They're farming their IP, right? And you know, they're trying to make something out of, you know, very bare concepts versus X-Men 97 being a fully fleshed out concept or idea with a good reason for why it exists. And James Gunn don't play that shit. Let's be serious here. He doesn't play that. He doesn't do that game. If he doesn't have a good idea, if he doesn't have a great idea that needs to be made, it ain't going nowhere. And you can't be coming to him with this, you know, wish and a prayer, and that's it. So we shall see. I don't think we're going to see anything, but I do want to see what DC Studios Animation does, and we'll keep an eye out for that. Let you guys know what they're up to. Lottie, it's time for a nerd discussion. I didn't realize this, and I wasn't like paying attention, but someone posted on Threads, and they're like, I think they want to say the 26th is the 5-year anniversary of the premiere of Avengers Endgame. And so I thought it might be fun for us to just kind of do a quick discussion / retrospective about Avengers Endgame and what it means to comic book fans, comic book movie fans, nerds in general. Because this, Lottie, I want to say this was the last movie we saw together. I feel like that's right. I can't believe it's 5 years ago, the last time we went to the movie theater together, but I think that's true. We went and saw it in IMAX.
It might be.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's not like we live in different cities. We live in the same city, but we just haven't been to the movies together in a long time. 5 years, crazy. But we sat in those uncomfortable ass IMAX screen chairs. They were horrible for damn near for over 3 hours, because counting the the previews, the trailers and all that shit, which were ridiculously long. I remember it was like 25 minutes of trailers and ads and shit. So for over 3.5 hours, we sat in that theater. Let me say, worth every fucking minute. And mind you, when we saw it in IMAX, I had already seen it once, right? Because I saw it on the Thursday. So we saw it on a Sunday. We saw it on a Sunday afternoon in IMAX, and I'd already seen it once. And like I said, worth every fucking minute, and all the painful uncomfortableness of those stupid chairs. Just to me, I don't want to say groundbreaking, but definitely, I don't even want to call it the pinnacle of Marvel Studios filmmaking. I don't think that's true. But it definitely was a great payoff for 3 phases worth of storytelling and character building, and one of the greatest spectacle films I think that's ever been made. Just a huge achievement in my eyes. Lottie, I've been going on a while. How do you feel? How do you remember this movie? How did this make you feel back then, and even to this day of seeing it?
I want to say this is the second to last. Yeah, the second to last like comic book movie where I will say that if you didn't get your tickets beforehand, you are not going to get them big. The last movie that was like that was No Way Home. You know, like I just remember this was ridiculous, man. I mean, everybody was talking about this movie, like, you know, casuals. This is when I say this was the absolute climax of where nerd in comic book culture kind of like came to the forefront of just not it. I'll say nerd culture became pop culture to the point that I feel like during the pandemic, a lot of people used that time to like take time to read comic books, you know, read manga, watch old shows or watch old movies. And the pandemic was definitely a massive killer to the movie theaters, but it was a absolute boon for the streaming product, because I can't I'm sure the pandemic, that Endgame was freaking the server, whatever server was handling Endgame during the pandemic was dying. It's just like it was looking at Mickey. I'm tired, boss. I don't give a fuck. You're gonna keep showing that damn movie. or I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Mickey's like, well, that's too damn bad. Man, Endgame, yes, Endgame. Still to this day, I saw a reel on Instagram where a guy said it's about to be the 5-year anniversary of Endgame, and he showed like the cutscene. I mean the final part, and I'm like, damn, I haven't seen this in like it's been like because I saw Endgame again in 2020, but I don't think I've seen it since. And it's just like I forgot they showed the people and their names, and then like he said the crowd went off when they showed Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. I was like, yes. We actually stood and gave a standing ovation. It was ridiculous.
You know what?
Had to be there.
That was definitely one of the last. I mean, No Way Home got close to this, but this was definitely one of the last superhero movies I saw where audience participation was like sky high. You know, people were clapping and like hooting and like cheering. And just like popping off in general, and like you said, like crying, you know, when Tony, you know, dies, you know, going ape shit when Cap got Mjolnir. There was so many parts in there, and you could tell this is popcorn movie making, you know, just at its finest, where they knew people were going to be popping off, right? So they paused for that. They knew people were going to be losing their shit. They knew people were going to be booing or clapping or whatever. And they served it up so wonderfully. It was a communal experience, you know? I feel sorry. I honestly and truly feel sorry for anyone who pirated this movie and watched the screeners and shit like that, because they lost a lot. You know, whatever you had to pay to get a ticket to go see this, seeing it with a crowd that was pumped up and into this shit was like nothing else. It's so good, in fact, that I will sometimes just look it up on YouTube of people's reactions to certain moments in Endgame and, you know, how the crowd reacted to that. It's been a long time since we've had one of those movies. Like I said, No Way Home is about the only other one that was like that.
Yeah, No Way Home is the last one. No Way Home is legit the last one, and that's about to be 3 years ago. So it's been, like you said, it's been a while since we've had a movie where we were like, people were like losing their mind, you know, standing up, giving standing ovations, cheering, all that stuff. It's been a while.
Yeah,
I think somewhat. It's very, very. It's like, you know how you say No Way Home is smaller. I think Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and Guardians of the Galaxy, it was minute, but it was there. It was there. It was nowhere. Of course, it was nowhere near No Way Home, and of course, in a different stratosphere to Endgame.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, is Endgame a perfect movie? No. I think it has some pacing issues in some places. But as far as delivering on the promise, it's hard to beat that. It did what it was supposed to. And it actually, in the midst of doing its spectacle, it did deliver character moments. It did resolve some people's character arcs. It did kind of lay the path going forward after Endgame. It did a lot of the heavy lifting of world building, while also paying off a lot of long running plot lines. And it's again not a perfect movie, but it's hard to deny that it's not like peak MCU. It definitely, in terms of comic book movies, there aren't too many comic book movies that are better than it. It's just true. There are some that, you know, I would say are better as single movie viewing experiences, but as a payoff for the Infinity Saga, you couldn't ask for better. And I gotta love that movie. I can just watch Tony dying, and it gets me every time. So But you know, 5 years, man. I can't wait for it to be talking about this at the 20-year anniversary and see where we've come since then. So, either way, what did you guys think about Avengers Endgame? You know, kind of let us know. Let's reminisce. Let's be nerds and talk about this thing that we love. And you know, I can't wait to see where we go from here. So, Lottie, finally, we're gonna do a trailer review. Deadpool Wolverine dropped like a real trailer, not a teaser, but a real trailer, so we can get an understanding about what's really going on in this. And they're not hiding Wolverine. They're not hiding the blue and yellow suit. They're not hiding the bad guy. We're seeing a lot of shit in this. So, Lottie, we both got a chance to look at this trailer. We see Cassandra Nova. We see, you know, the end of time. We see Alioth is doing some stuff. There's a lot of leaning into. We know the TVA is in this. They're leaning into a lot of stuff from the Loki series. We're probably going to get some alternate Wolverines. And it's Deadpool through and through. You know, straight up. Lots of action, lots of funny. What did you think about this trailer? How did it affect your excitement for this movie?
Oh yeah, I am definitely pumped to see this movie. What this movie did is that it pretty much confirmed that this is not the we sort of knew this, but it just pretty much all but confirmed it that this is not the Hugh Jackman Wolverine that we all grow up with. This is what I would call fuckboy Wolverine, who's just like, hey, left his universe down, and he seems to be like, you know, he seems like, hey, you know, I don't care about helping other people. And even though Deadpool's like, hey, you could help more people, he's like, it seems like he has to convince him. So one of the character arcs of this movie is Wolverine realizing that he's a hero, because you clearly see him. Because clearly, I'm sure there's a part where he asked him, he's like, what was Wolverine like in your world? And he was like, he was the X-Men. Because you know, X-Men 97 Wolverine is not, he is clearly not the Wolverine from X-Men Evolution, the X-Men from the Fox universe, or like Wolverine from Wolverine the X-Men, where he is the leader. Like, he is the alpha of the X-Men. You know what I mean? So, like you said, he that guy. When I talk about Wolverine, he said he was the X-Men, and it's probably going to make this Wolverine, this Logan, become a better character. That's the main thing I took away from this movie. Deadpool, I already know what to expect with Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool. I don't need to see much more about that. The TVA stuff, it's really already got a taste of that. It's really the main thing is that I liked about this trailer. It showed me what to expect from this Wolverine.
Right. Well, people are speculating, and this is probably the case, that this Wolverine is very similar to the Logan Wolverine, except he's an alternate version of him. So in Logan, we come to understand that he basically killed the X-Men, right? because of brainwashing or someone fucking with his mind, and he killed the X-Men. Well, this is also similar to Old Man Logan, the comic book, in which Wolverine didn't just kill the X-Men, he killed like most of the heroes. Not all of them, but most of them, because Mysterio basically tricked him into thinking that they were bad guys, and he goes through and kills them all. We also see that this Logan is very, you know, he's regretting. We see some kind of parts where he's sort of, and he's younger, obviously, than he is in you know, I guess it's probably a flashback. So there's a suggestion that the way he let down his universe is he killed the heroes. We also see the bad guy, who is, as people have been speculating, Cassandra Nova, who has a really fucking weird history. Let's just say the unknown twin sister of Charles Xavier with his same powers. She is a mutant. She has the same powers. And she mad. But also, it appears that she is living or is running a crew or something like that at the end of time, which we've seen in, you know, Loki season 1 and 2. Last time we saw it was Ravonna Renslayer was stranded in at the end of time. But also, we saw that in the first season, that's where Loki ends up, and he sees alternate Lokis, and they're running away from Alioth, who basically will destroy variants. But we see within there that she set up a base in the skull, not the suit, the skull of a dead Scott Lang giant man, right? And she's got henchmen that people with an eagle eye have noted seem to be variants of what's it, Lady Deathstrike, and there's the Russian, and Toad is in there, and Azazel from the X-Men, not First Class, Apocalypse. So there seems to be some variants of different villains who are also working for her. And we see an encounter between her and Wolverine in which she uses her telekinesis to basically, use him as kind of a puppet. So she's clearly, and she's going to be a very formidable bad guy because she is a mutant on Charles Xavier's level in terms of being a psychic. What does she want? Who knows? But also Deadpool's going to have to convince Logan, some Logan, to be, his partner in doing whatever to save the multiverse. I like this trailer. I, in fact, don't like it. Love this trailer. It's hilarious. It's got fun little Easter eggs and callbacks. Deadpool is Deadpool doing his thing. Wolverine is not like over his bullshit. You can tell he's over his bullshit like really early in the movie, and the rest of it's just like I'm trying not to knife you, man. But their buddy cop sort of routine looks like it's really fun. They're going to be kicking ass. There's a good action sequences in there. We get a little more context to what's going on, and they're not giving the movie away. That's all I need. Like, I could stop watching trailers for this now and be like, cool, come on July, right? But of course we are going to watch the next trailer. I think this trailer was a slam dunk. As far as I can tell, everyone that I saw on social media talking about it were, on board with this. Everyone's happy. Lottie, I will say this. Looks like this, they're hinting at a cameo fest. Does that bother you?
I mean, with Deadpool, no. Because Deadpool is not meant to be taken seriously. And they've already sort of tossed it up at the end of Deadpool 2, so I don't mind it.
Yeah. Do you think they're going to be killing alternate Wolverines or alternate Deadpools or alternate people? And like, are we going to be seeing a lot of alternate people? Like, people are talking about that Daniel Radcliffe is going to cameo as an alternate universe Wolverine. Do you feel like that feels real?
Probably.
Yeah, the sky's the limit on this, and because it's Deadpool, like, look, I know I was shit talking Cameo Fest when I was talking about Avengers 5 and Secret Wars. There's a reason for that. It's cool, like, but in Deadpool, because they've done this before where he's just like, they just had a real quick cameo just to acknowledge that things are real, but also we're not going to talk about them. So there can be real quick, like, remember in Deadpool 2, Brad Pitt was in it for like a frame, like 10 frames of the movie. Just stuff like that. It's so stupid, but I'm there for it. So I'm okay with, I'm not okay with them in a ostensibly more serious movie like Avengers 5 choosing to cameo fest that, because now it seems less vital to the story and more, hey, look at this, and that's Deadpool's shtick. Hey, look at this, is his thing. What I will say though, I don't agree with your assessment that it's not going to have some seriousness in it. I think that, like Deadpool 1 and 2, after you get past the dick jokes and silliness and like all of that, the wink and nod at the audience shit, underneath it, Wade actually has a serious character arc and he's got a journey to go through. He's trying, and this one, he lays it on the table. I'm trying to save everyone that I love. So which I think is going to indicate a lead in into not Secret Wars, Kang Dynasty, and the fact that incursions or something like that is putting his universe at risk. And the TVA is basically like, if you want to save all of that, you got to do something for us. Otherwise, your shit's going to be pruned and y'all are done. Right? So I think that's where Paradox is coming in. They need him for a specific task. And if he can do it, he saves his universe. If he doesn't, it's all down to him failing. So I think there's going to be a serious story in here underneath all the silliness. Overall, I loved it. Lottie, would you agree?
Yeah. Pretty, yeah.
Yeah, good. Really good trailer. And, of course, there will be another one. We will, look at that, give a review of it when it comes out. So, Lottie, that's all of our news for this week. Not a huge week this week, but you know what? Maybe we missed something. Or maybe you guys agreed, disagreed. You just had a comment that you wanted to share. You know what to do to get down to the comment section. Leave your thoughts there. And, of course, you can always hit us up. supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com. blurred_forest1 on Instagram and on Threads. super_not_funny_show on TikTok. And while you're down there, do us a favor. Hit like on this video. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps more people to see this podcast. Helps them to see this channel. Helps more people to see all of the content that we make. And while you're doing that, also remember that I can't do this by myself. Lottie's there to, provide his insight, especially on stuff like Justice League, which I never saw. But he, all of the other anime and superhero stuff, all of his knowledge makes this show what it is. So, Lottie, where can they reach you on social media?
Oh, you can always find me on my Instagram and YouTube channel, which is Anukinihun. Again, it's Anukinihun, Anukinihun. Again, it's Anukinihun. Get a chance, drop a like, a comment, or subscribe.
Yeah, go check that out. Show Lottie some love, especially on his Helldivers content. I feel like he's dying less lately, but what do they say? The tree of liberty is watered with the blood of patriots and tyrants. So
yeah,
he's watering the hell out of that tree. So you guys, like I said, go show him some love. So this has been episode 149 of the Supercast. Thanks for joining us this time around. Come back next week. Got plenty more news to talk about. X-Men 97 probably going to be one of the things we talk about. Should be a good time. So until then, I've been Mo, your commentator extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Lottie. We'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.